Hi, my loves, my kings, my queens, my royal people. Today, I want to talk to you about allowing your intuition to guide you to having consistent 10K months and beyond. And, one of my mentors was just talking about this. What's so important about having 10K? I've heard people go back and forth like, oh, who cares about 10K months and da-da-da. Listen, 10K per month means a lot. It means that you have a lot of freedom that you wouldn't otherwise have. It is actually a really big deal. So today we're going to talk about allowing your intuition to be your guide to abundance, to having 10K months, to having love. I mean, it's really all the same. It just looks a little bit different. And hi, everyone. It is I, Pamela, aka the Awakened Aphrodite. I am here to help you explode your bank account and your love life by tapping into deep rewiring hypnosis and pleasure and all of the tantric teachings. So let's dive into this. I love my life and I love my business. And one of the main reasons why this is true is because I follow my intuition. Also, oh no, I just got the Instagram time check. I hope it doesn't, it's like 5 minutes left today, so I hope it doesn't cut me off. Whoops. But, I love my life because I live my life via intuition. I used to struggle so much with anxiety, and sometimes I still do. Sometimes I still have moments where I'm like, I'm feeling the beast of anxiety. But for the most part, and when I catch myself, let's say, in those moments, I come back to flow. I come back to living in my intuition. I ask myself and I tap into this deep inner knowing and deep inner trust throughout my day and also in business. So I don't pre-plan, I don't think, any videos that I do. I don't pre-plan any content I create or anything that I do in any of my containers for the most part. I mean, maybe if there's something really specific that I want to make sure people get, then I might. I literally just show up and I channel. I show up and I'm in intuition and I'm in flow. I've had this happen in relationships where I had an intuitive hit to go to the beach and sit on a specific chair and journal. And the next thing you know, I met someone, right, who I ended up dating, and we had like a great little relationship, right? So it wasn't that long. That's why it's like a little relationship. It wasn't like that long, but it was great. It was like exactly what I needed for the time, right? I think maybe exactly what we both needed for the time, and then that was that. And the thing that I want to say, and I feel like this is where people get tripped up on this stuff, is there's been times when my intuition has been like, take a right here, or take a left here, sit here, and nothing crazy's happen, right? Like, so if you're expecting to constantly have like, oh, every time I listen to my intuition, I meet a new person to date, right? Or like every time I listen to my intuition, all this stuff is going to happen. Well, it might not be that way, but that doesn't mean that your intuition isn't a good thing to listen to, and that doesn't mean that the payoff isn't as great. I feel like our intuition is constantly, you can see the sun setting, right? It's like getting very dark all of a sudden, but our intuition is leading us to more and more and more deeper states of bliss. This is the whole thing. So if you think bliss is only like having a 10K month and you're like, well, my intuition hasn't given me that yet, well, you're not going to be able to reap the rewards of following your intuition and listening to your intuition. It's just not going to happen. But if instead you commit your life to listening to your intuition and you trust that you're rewarded and you trust that you're supported and you trust that your business supports you, that you are deeply loved already, that you're met in a relationship, that you always meet the right people at the right time, in the right places, and you couldn't miss out on something that's meant for you. Like, you have these fundamental belief systems and you live in your intuition, that's when you really get rewarded. That's when the universe really rewards you for constantly walking in intuition, in bliss, in pleasure. So I'll give you an example. So today I woke up. I actually woke up quite early today, which is very abnormal for me. Don't normally do that. And I was like feeling super sleepy because I woke up so early. I went to bed super late, chit-chatting with a girlfriend who's staying with me. It was awesome. Totally worth it. And talking about life plans and just exciting things. And so I woke up, I was so sleepy. I was like, oh God. And I was like, well, I shut my mind off a little bit. And I was like, but what do I feel like doing? I was like, well, I feel like laying in bed and like journaling and watching some YouTube videos. And then I had this fear thought that was like, oh my God, what if you never get out of bed? What if you don't ever leave the bed? And at this point in my life, I just was like, I trust that when I'm finished, whatever I need to finish, I'll move on to the next thing. And that was that. So that's exactly what happened. I was like, okay, let me know if you guys can still hear me, because the Instagram thing that's like, you've reached your time limit has gone up. So if you can still hear me, if you can hear me, can you just comment? Because I don't want to keep talking if like the sound isn't coming in. Just comment and let me know and I'll keep going. But if you can't hear me, tell me and I'll do another one. So then, I got to this place where I was like, okay, I don't want to lay in bed anymore. I'm good. I'm done. I'm like, I want to move on to the next thing. So I did. And it happened again with the voice being like, oh, what are you going to do? Are you just going to like walk forever? I went for a walk around the lake. And it's like, oh, are you just going to like walk? Like, how long are you going to walk for? You have to make dinner. You have all these other things to do. You were going to work out. And I said again to myself, I was like, oh, thank you for telling me. I'm going to trust my intuition. I feel like walking. So while I was walking, I walked and I walked and I walked and I walked in this trusting of intuition and pleasure. And I also trust, okay, I'll know the moment that I'm done with this and ready to do the next thing. I get this message from someone who's like, oh, I want to be in the mistress mind, like, please reserve my spot, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So this is what I find. It's like by following pleasure in these little intuitive hits, I didn't like walk and then find like $1 million laying on the ground. Like I didn't walk and like nothing spectacular happened on my walk, right? I was just walking around the lake. But that's not the point, right? That's not the point. If you're constantly like, oh, I'll only listen to my intuition because this crazy, amazing thing's going to happen. Nothing crazy and amazing happened while I was listening to my intuition and my pleasure while relaxing and laying in bed, right? But it felt good and I did it because it was necessary. So how does this translate to business? How does this translate to love? Well, business and love are the exact same. Obviously, it's a little bit different where it's like, okay, if I'm really listening to my intuition, what is the next thing that I need to do? What is the next step here? Your intuition will tell you. And I've seen this with people before where maybe their coach was like, oh, you've got to sell this thing. And their intuition was like, no, I want to sell this program instead. They sell the program and they have like their biggest launch ever, right? There's some people that listen to their intuition, they sell the program and they don't sell any spots. This is where we're like, oh, our intuition, I shouldn't have done that. Our intuition isn't shit. But no, you don't know. You don't know the completion of what that is. Maybe you had to go through that thing in order to experience that, to know what to do at the next level, right? I see this all of the time. But my point is, when you listen to your intuition in these ways without these big expectations attached to them, you find that you just live in flow. You find that you just wake up inside of a life where you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I kind of like do whatever I want all day and enjoy it. And I get paid really well, and my programs go really well, and my relationships are easy, or like I attract people with ease, and da 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 da. And then you get to this kind of next level place where you just start creating, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go take a walk, and I bet you I'm going to meet somebody on my walk. Like, I bet you I'm going to bump into someone. I bet you I'm going to like meet someone who I end up dating. I'm going to go for a walk, and I bet you I'm going to get like some news from one of my clients about something really awesome. And then these things start happening, but it starts with taking the little crumbs, taking the little tidbits of intuition and trusting them, and almost opening that channel and being like, you're allowed in here. I want you in here. Get in here, right? To your intuition, and signaling that this is a channel that you want to get bigger and bigger and bigger inside of you. This is where you then are able to really create big things from, by starting to trust it like all day, throughout the day, no matter what you're doing. I had this happen while ordering like a juice today. I was ordering a juice. I normally get the same shit every day. And then for some reason, my intuition was like, get this thing today. And I was like, okay. I do this with eating. I do this with everything. So because I do this with every single area of my life in like the tiniest little ways, I feel like that's one of the reasons that I get rewarded with the big things. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm so magical, and why when I want a thing, I get it. It's because that channel of intuition is full. Like, it is full. It's been filled all day, every day. So when I'm like, you know what, I think I want this thing, it's like that magic, that intuition naturally goes and creates it and calls it in. So allowing your intuition to guide you to 10K months. What you want to really be asking is, what's the next step? If I knew for sure that 10K months are certain, what is the next step that my intuition is guiding me into? And just keep asking that question over and over and over again, taking that action, and of course, get the support that you need. If you are wanting to join the upcoming Queen's Coven Mistress Mind, we launch we start in December, this coming December. It's been amazing. I have helped people get their first clients ever. I've helped people have their first 10K months that have, never had a client. I've helped people triple their income. I've helped people go from having no clients to almost completely selling out their coaching schedule. I've helped people go from charging next to nothing to like $13,000 to work with them. So this is definitely for you. If you are witchy AF and you're like, okay, I need the magic, I want the support, send me a DM on Instagram, Save My Throne. Last time we sold out, so you definitely want to reserve your spot, like absolutely. And yes, I love you. I'm excited to see you soon, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Whether it's day or night, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here with me.